there was a proposed new Canadian law by some
Thank
Asian
God
woman.
it's just still proposed.
It's only proposed. Yeah, it's fortunately it's only proposed. So who knows if they're going to actually vote it into law? They probably will. But she proposes that nobody within like 200 yards or of a drag show or whatever can protest or say mean things because you just don't deserve free speech because, LGBT drag
2S.
people,
2S.
oh yeah. They deserve protection from even free speech. So if you're in the vicinity of this, you can't protest, you can't say anything. Sounds terrible, sounds like anathema to free speech, even though Canada doesn't technically have free speech. Okay, so
This could be used against them, it feels like. You
it
could just
probably could, probably could.
you could just dress somebody up as whatever, LGB, whatever, and then do your right
True.
wing.
Like conservatives could dress up in drag, and then if leftists protest anywhere within 200 meters, they go like, oh, you guys need to be arrested under this law. I
Yeah.
identify as this.
Yep. Yep.
How about that?
Yep.
So the law is crazy. Clearly, it's anti-free speech. It's anathema to all liberal values of speech, and it's of course painful to see a dumb fuck Asian woman put this law forward.
Dude, yeah. We really need to call out these dumb fuck Asians. It's
We
just,
do.
yeah.
But the other thing I wanted to talk about is when she was doing it on her podium. Okay, and this is news to me, even though I like to stay really in touch and up to date with these things because I like to know what the left is doing. But on her podium, it said instead of LGBTQIA A plus or whatever, which was what I thought was the most recent understanding of this acronym, her podium said 2S LGBTQIA plus. And I thought, is that the new one? And so of course I Googled it and lo and behold, yes, it is the current quote unquote correct acronym to use. And the reason why is that 2S stands for two spirit. What that means is there were Native American or indigenous tribes that had like a third gender or something like that, and they called it two spirit. I won't go into depth, but that's what they had. It was like kind of their transgender, right? And the reason why now it's proper to put 2S in front of LGBTQIA, even though most rational people would say, two spirit was already captured in the plus, right? It's not a new thing. People already acknowledged it already. But the reason why they are specifically putting 2S in front of it is because it's intersectionality, right? It's not just you're LGBTQIA plus, you're also indigenous. So if you're indigenous plus LGBTQ, you are even higher in the intersectionality sweepstakes, right? So not only are you an oppressed LGBTQ IA plus, you are also Native American or indigenous, or so you deserve to be up at the front.
So does that mean L is better than G is better than B is better than T? Because I thought
No, I don't
T
think
should
that's
be
what it means.
I thought T should be near higher up the pecking order.
It should, but then they've been saying LGBTQ for so long that I think they just don't change that order.
I mean, but then yeah, it doesn't make sense though, because then by this, I mean, this logic is saying that 2S is more important or it's higher up, so it's at the front.
It doesn't, so they probably should move T to the front.
Yeah,
But it
should be
would really,
2S T.
it would even confuse them if they did that. So I think that's why they don't do it because it would be so goddamn confusing even to them. So this just highlights the absurdity of this oppression Olympics of
Did we need to
intersectionality.
highlight it even? I mean, it's already.
Yeah, we do because I'm old
Wouldn't it
enough to
suck to
remember.
be? Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember when, okay, the acronym, if you went to a college campus, what did you have? You had an LGBT center, right?
Hmm.
I'm not old enough to remember when you didn't have an LGBT center. I don't remember those golden fucking years, okay? But when I went to school, we already had an LGBT center. So that means lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender. And then they
Yeah.
started adding Q, queer. I still don't even know what queer means. It's like some catch-all weird shit. I, intersex. A, asexual. I still don't know what the fuck that means. Asexual, so you don't want to have sex, right? And then plus all the other shit. For a while, they had another A, so it was AA for allies. But then I guess they figured that they should not regard allies the same way because it's just like, so you're an ally, that you're not really one of us, right? Oh, this is just an aside. I was at a music concert in Las Vegas for Lady Gaga.
Hmm.
My wife loves Lady Gaga, so we saw her. It was a great concert. She's a great artist. I'm not saying she's not, but she's very pro LGBTQIA plus, right? And she was talking about it at the beginning, and some of the loudest people who were cheering. There was one person that I thought he was gay, but apparently he wasn't because he was like screaming and saying, "Oh, we love you, whatever." And then she was saying, "I shout out to all my LGBTQI, whatever, whatever, whatever," right? And he jumped up and down and said, "I'm an ally." And he just
Was
was like
this on
screaming.
YouTube or
No, it wasn't. I was
okay.
there in person. I'm an ally. I'm an ally. And I was thinking, wait, so does that mean you're not lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or queer? Are you straight?
Yeah.
Yes. But he was jumping up and down and screaming. And that let me, even though I had already known this and I already thought this, that cemented in my mind that this is just a new religion for weak minded people. Because you're not even any of these things. You're just a heterosexual human, right? So, but you're jumping up and down and saying, I'm one of you guys. I'm whatever, like, I'm an ally. It means you want to belong. You want to feel like you have a place in the world, right? You want to feel like there's some movement that you are a part of. It's really no different than a religion.
So this person yelled out that he was an ally.
Yes.
Okay.
And by yelling out ally,
Yeah, it just implies you're not.
yeah, implies you're not any of the other acronyms, right? So why was he jumping up and down and screaming, I'm an ally? Because he just wants to be part of something bigger, part of something that feels more meaningful. But how is that different than religion, though? We never became a secular society. We just replaced Christianity, Catholicism, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We just replaced that with a shittier religion. That's all we did.
Yep.
And I know maybe people will say, well, how do you know it's a shittier religion? Maybe it's a better religion. Well, I think it is. And we've talked about how the various ways it's a shittier religion. And we will continue to talk about it. And even in this episode, we'll have more comments or commentary about it. But just like the French Revolution, where revolutionaries try to one up each other and say, well, I'm more revolutionary than you, so therefore you should have your head cut off. It's the same exact mentality. All the people who, I don't know, and like let's say you refuse to put the 2S in front of the LGBTQ, you're problematic now. Oh, whoops. I'm better than you. You're problematic. I put 2S in front. So I respect indigenous people. Therefore, you're problematic. And this reminds me of I just
What a
recently
great
saw,
religion.
and this reminds me of something that I saw recently on Twitter where Martina Navratilova, I don't know, like if you know her, she was one of the
Yeah.
great female tennis players of all time. And she
Yep.
was a open lesbian for a lot of that time, right? And she
Yep.
was also like a champion of liberal values and free speech and being open about your sexuality. So she was like 100% liberal. But this recent spate of letting men LARP as women, it has pushed her to the wrong side of the aisle because she said, no, this is bullshit. These are not women. This is not fair. This is not right. And so, but now she's problematic, right? Now she's no longer a liberal hero or anything like that, right? She's now like, she might as well be Donald Trump, right? Anyway, this is what the 2S proves. They're constantly, what point are they going to run out of people? They're constantly pushing people over to the other side. I don't know.